So since you're all what you call in the teaching field, the first thing itself is the question comes apart from the salary, why do we teach? And please don't feel bad if I give some examples. This is nothing to be personal. I'm not targeting someone. So I'm going to give some general examples regarding classroom environment. So my sincere request is not to take anything personal. Please cooperate with me. So first of all, the first slide we start with the why do we teach? The first thing is dissemination of the knowledge. So this is the thing for a teacher to disseminate the knowledge for students or his disciples who are eager to listen to you. Now, to disseminate knowledge, please try to understand to deliver a good lecture or to disseminate a good knowledge for the students, we should be well equipped with the knowledge. So our preparation for the classes is more important. How do we prepare and how we are updated? So that's the one part where we're going to talk about. The second part is inculcation of skills among students. Now, if you have seen NEP syllabus and NEP exit points starting from first year to the fourth year of honors. So what they're planning is whenever student wants to exit from any year, he should be employable. So that is the idea. So to start with the certificate course with 1 year, or be with the diploma in the second year, degree with the third year, or honors with the fourth year. So inculcation of skills among these students should be done by a teacher. So how you manage the class, that is more important in inculcating those skills, so that you are making a market ready product for your student, that he should be employable. So that means what NEP has put us on more responsibility. It is not just classroom teaching. So make him ready for employability. So added responsibility. Now, don't think that earlier we are not making them employable, but I think now it has come with a more systematic way of doing it. Of course, there are a lot of criticism about NEP. Let's not discuss about that. But with the basic understanding that NEP is basically meant for employability. The next part is what you call application part, where how this knowledge and skills what you call can be put under application part, so that whatever been learned in the class can be utilized in the future years or immediately or in the public domain. Why? Because if you have seen open electives, the application part is very high. Where, for example, if we are talking about physics, one need not study physics, but how to repair a switch, how to correct an electrical switch, how to do a minor repair can be done through what you call minimum understanding of physics. So that's where we talk about application. Fish culture, or like what you call in what you call culturing, or when we what you call use zoology as a what you call open elective, like they can have several applications where we are making the student ready for the employability. It could be different of animal culturing, or this one where we can plan so many things. And finally, the major issue is information literacy. How much true information literacy we are planning to move ahead with the students, provided my dear teachers try to understand these are the things for what you call the prime core concept of a question called as why do we teach. So now the teaching aspects have been changed. Another thing I want to tell you is we are slowly living chalk and talk business, and we are more into a digital world, whether be it in the class or even in online class. We are what you call slowly moving towards a digital world. So a lot of changes have been happened. So let us see what are those changes are happened in what you call present trend. So in the present trend, what happened is, if you see, now the students are what you call no more depend much on the teachers because of the digital information which what you call we got from various websites. There is a decrease in teacher centered teaching time. The idea is uh, student-centered learning is increasing. So there is increasing student-centered learning, and nowadays this is working as a bit negative also. Why? Because if you have seen the olden days pattern and today's pattern, if you think that your own student days to make a what you call to make notes or to make a assignment, we may have to go to library those days, refer 4 5 books or 8 books or more, and synthesize them and write and then submit. But nowadays there is a what you call change has happened. You give any topic, the first thing is they type in Google, and whichever the first website comes, they open it up, and either they copy it or they just give what you call a printout of it, telling that my assignment is over. So where is the knowledge has been percolated? The knowledge absolutely has been not seen there. It is basically cut and copy skills of the students have been improved. So this is where the current trend is in this, where students are not serious about reading textbooks. So they are directly into what you call ready-made material, which is available in the website, in the internet, which may be relevant and sometimes it is irrelevant. But what the thing is, they just what you call copy it and send it. Now this is where, as a teacher, you have to manage in the class such a way that the focus should be on a wider aspects of reading rather than just reading what you call only one website content. I'm not against referring website, but how many websites they refer and then they filter down the information, that is more important. I think that's where a student will learn better, and he'll be remember you because you have made them to study more things rather than a single website. So please see to that. Then comes the modes of instruction. So nowadays, again, as I said, the current trends have been changed. So the first mode is one-to-one, where it could be teacher to student, student teacher, or sometimes student to student, because NEP promotes all these. Where in NEP, what we they say is, okay, a student has to be given a lot of what you call options to give a seminar, a lot of extracurricular activities, and he should be involved in a continuous assessment. So it could be a teacher student mode, or it could be student teacher mode, or it could be a student teaching other students. So these what you call modes are also available through participation, and it's a live conversation or giving explanation or providing clarifications or involving them in discussion. It can be in even online mode, which we already seen, the online chat or online talk, and it could be email. Then we have another option called as one to many, where a teacher speaks to many students and student speaks to many students. This is basically we talk through a lecture demo. Either go by online or offline. A streaming audio, which what I am doing right now, I'm streaming audio with you, where you are streaming video with me. Then there'll be several blogs, waiting lists, and mailing lists. You can do a lot of things where one person is reaching many others. It could be students, or a student is reaching many other students. That could be another mode. Then many to many, usually now involve students, where we initiate what you call, we bring a concept, and we want to have a debate over what you call uh, the issue regarding education system. Again, back to post-COVID scenario, whether post-COVID scenario has improved the teaching learning environment or it has affected our teaching learning environment. That is also more important. This can be done through audio conference, or it can be done through video conference, or we can have a forum, or you can have a blog. But nowadays, if you see, we are having several options. That is more important, where through these options and other apps, the instructions is widespread. It is having a very versatility in its own nature. But only thing is, when we talk about the technology and gadgets, the problem with us is we have to adapt and we have to master those gadgets operation. That is more important. Many times you must have seen when you're teaching in online, your word lecture is not heard by others, or it could be a problem like connectivity issues and all. So all these things, if they are taken care of, definitely whether it's offline class or online class, definitely your what you call quality of instructions can be improved better. So that's the idea. This is where we talk about the modes of instructions. Then we go to the what you call how the students or others expect to be an effective teacher inside the class or outside the class. This is more important. So as Wang et al gives what you call few of the characteristics of effective teachers, we'll discuss one by one. One is they are masters of their material. This is where I have a tip for you. If you are a fresher, please understand, if you prepare for 1 hour for 1 hour class, there could be a failure in your side because you may not what you call able to cover up entire hour because of the memory issues. So the idea here is, once you say master, first thing is you have to prepare for your class. If it is 1 hour, please prepare for 2 hours. Why? Because by chance, if you are missing something, that missing gap can be filled by the another 1 hour. And if you are managing 1 hour to 1 hour, it's very good because then you have a bonus of 1 hour stock with you so that you can manage it anyway. So that's the idea. And before getting into the classroom, please see to that what is the content you are going to deliver, how much time you are going to give them. That's why I say, and whether you really mastered your material. Why I'm telling this is because the more experience you get, the mastery is much easier. Otherwise, since if you are a fresher, you may not have much experience, then the idea is practicing behind about what you call how you are going to master the issue. To master the issue, try to understand, the more you study, more you update with yourself, I think the mastery will come very fast. Otherwise, the problem is you should not be a laughing stock in front of the students, because nowadays students are very well organized, at least few of them. Sometimes they may be aware of few things much better than us, which we may not be knowing it. So you have to be very careful while dealing with the present generation, because a lot of material is available for them. Then we have to be extra careful and we have to master our what you call lessons, and you have to be very good with your lesson planning. So that's the idea. And those who are what you call effective teachers, they're well prepared and well organized. This is more important. So as I said, preparation, if you're preparing for 1 hour class, I would expect to prepare more so that you are not having any obstacle or emptiness in your class. Then well organized, this is more important, where usually we say in the class, there's nothing like what you call any subject is tough. The teacher can make the subject tough or easy. Why I'm telling, because in a class, usually the trend is you start with the simple aspect to then go to the complex. So this is where you do the classes. You start with the simple aspects, progressively you move ahead so that even the complex tasks will look like simple one. But we should not start something with very complex. Then we get into the simple. By then the student may be what you call lost interest, or he may be finding it difficult to manage the class. Then the third point, what I'm telling is, the teachers who are what you call effective, they are enthusiastic about the topic of the lesson. So it is not for the sake of doing a class you are doing. No, definitely not. You should be more what you call interested, motivated to know about the topic which you are going to speak, plus any update on the topic. That is also more important. Don't just stick on to the textbooks, maybe written 20 or 30 years back sometimes, or sometimes 10 years back. So some of the latest information may be missing in that. So the idea is how much you are updated, so that the students will be connecting with the latest information which they are well aware. So the classroom connection will be much easier. And the teachers who are effective supposed to be warm and approachable, but not familiar. I mean to say here, whenever a student approaches, please receive them in the warmness and be approachable. Don't scold them. If unnecessarily irritating, yes, then what you call, then it requires some punishment for the student. But in other words, the students definitely approach you. So your approach should be much more cordial with them. Otherwise, they might think that you are a tough teacher, difficult to approach. But don't be very close with them. This is also most important. The more you are close with them, they might take the advantage of you. So always, that's why you have to keep a distance with them. The distance in the sense where they should be having respect, not the fear. There are two things. The students will respect you for only two things: either they are scared of you or they're really having a respect towards you. I don't want your students to be giving respect because of the fear, but because of the true respect which they give to you. That is more important. Then an effective teacher is alert and watchful, so that he will be knowing or she will be knowing what is happening inside the class. Because but sometimes what happens, the teachers will not be serious inside the class, then they are not alert and they are not watching all the students, then there could be classroom mismanagement which is not expected. And whenever teacher would talk to be effective, they are firm and reasonable, fair and consistent. That means what? No partiality inside the class, no gender issues, no caste issues to be brought inside the class. For a teacher, everybody is same, whether it's a fast learner, whether it's a slow learner, anybody for that matter, intelligent or not intelligent. For a teacher, all are same. Only thing is how you deal with them, that is more important. Then they have a clear and well moderated speech. This is also what you call how your phonation works. For example, how you manage the class. Speaking very fast or speaking very loud is of no use. So you have a what you call well moderated speech. Your way of what you call modulation of speech should be in a uniform manner. Otherwise, students will get confused. So that's where you have to be very careful. So we'll be talking more about those characteristics. We'll continue one by one. So suppose you want to manage your class, how your class would be more effective. We start with the first one is a structuring. The second aspect goes for a delivery. Third is management. Fourth one is interaction. Fifth one is focusing. Then the questioning part automatically. Then involving the students. Then getting feedback, both emotional and cognitive. And lastly, though it's not directly related to effective classroom management, definitely students are in need of help. So where are the common areas where students need help, and you as one of the mentors, how you can help them out, so that even after 10-20 years they should remember you, this teacher has really helped me. But sometimes they remember for other reasons, this teacher has harmed me, so that is not expected. So let's be positive about it. So we start with the structuring of classes first. So these are the few things we are going to highlight. Structuring, delivery, management, interaction, focus, questioning, student involvement, emotive and cognitive feedback, and the common areas where students need help. So first is, before you start the class, how you are going to structure, that is more important. And I'm seeing few of the participants are writing notes. I think you can make only points. Why? Because this entire PPT will be shared later with you through HRDC. I think Nanjan Swami sir will definitely share this PPT. So you can make points, and if you have got any doubts, this is where Nanjan Swami has told me we are to share this same PPT, and that PPT will be shared with you people later. So start with the first point. When you talk about what you call structuring. In structuring, first, our teaching resources have to be managed and organized. Sorry to say, few of the teachers still they refer the old notes when they were students and when they wrote the notes. Still they think it is a Bible. So my sincere request for them is, there's a lot of changes has happened in the curricula. Syllabi has been changed. Lot of new concepts have been introduced. So please throw away those old notes, throw away old what you call concepts which you have, and start working on what you call the new syllabi or new curricula which has been provided, because another 2 years we are outdated with all the old notes, because already we are in the second year NEP, third year NEP, fourth year NEP. So then everything is almost, things have been changed with the latest updating of the information, be it any subject. So I think that's a time for even us to what you call refresh. So now what you are going to do? One is you have to recycle your lesson material. Recycle means which is wanted and which is not wanted, outdated, just remove them. And which is not fitting your teaching style and curricula, don't even think about them, throw them. Sometimes the students find boring with your subject, which all those confusion and all, discard those papers and make them simple one. Now, suppose you are using a PowerPoint presentation. You have a lot of options for corrections there, because day by day you get a lot of new information. You can keep on editing your PPT so that every year the same PPT may not be used much. The PPT with what you call much of updated information, so that students will get to know what is happening correct. So that is why you have to update yourself, whether it's a digital file or notes. Manage it well first, that's a structuring, and see the flow of the content. This is also more important, whether it's extempore teaching or through PowerPoint presentation. One thing is, please try to understand, go from simple to complex. The moment you start with the simple, the psychology behind is the students are get motivated to study when you start with the simple aspects. Later, even the complex task will look simpler. But if it start with the complex task first, it could be a problem for the students. He may lose his interest in the first minute itself. So be careful about that. Then now you organize how many slides. That is also more important. The moment you start organizing the slides, you know how much time it's going to take. Don't spend too much of time. That's also more important. But if you start spending too much of time on a single slide, I think you may not be able to finish your what you call allotted time hours. That is also more important. So this is where you start with the structuring your things. Again, back to the if you are willing to, or if your timetable is for 1 hour, please prepare for 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Definitely it saves you. Then the next part is when you start delivering talk. When you get inside the class, how you are going to deliver. This is more important. What are the few important issues we are going to discuss here? One is, the first thing is adhering time. I've seen few of the teachers going 10 minutes late, then leaving 10 minutes early. So in 1 hour, 40 minutes are gone, 10 minutes for attendance, another 10 minutes for general talk. So you're left with only 20 to 25 minutes. So with the 20 to 25 minutes, what we are going to do? Or sometimes you are eating away the other teacher's class hour. So you are supposed to leave at 11 o'clock, but you are not finished the class. So you leave at 11:15. Poor other teacher is waiting outside. This is also not good from your side. So the first thing is adhering to the time. So stick on to the time. That is more important. If you are talking about 1 hour, just manage with that 1 hour only. And if at all you think that your number of hours are less, please plan for additional classes or special classes during weekends or holidays. I know there could be objections, students may not come or something, but those students are really interested, they will be there in your class. That is 100%. So one is time management. Second thing is explanation. How do you explain is also more important inside the class. That's why you see the next point, teaching with examples. Now suppose you talk some subject without examples, the student may not understand what you are telling. You are a best teacher, but it's not reaching them. Why? Because you are not giving examples. The moment you start giving examples, immediately the association will be formed with the content and an example. Then idea of understanding will be very easy. Sometimes what happens, you explain, but without examples, the students find it difficult to connect to the subject. Once they find it difficult to connect to the subject, they might feel the subject is boring. So teaching with the examples can make have a better explanation than teaching without examples. Then using simple language, this is also very important. Sometimes some teachers come and talk hi-fi English. They use a lot of jargons, and ultimately the students comment, "What a class! What English!" The teacher was like flying in English. What did you understand? Answer is nothing. So what is the use if you use hi-fi English words, hi-fi Kannada words? You may be having your good vocabulary, but imagine the poor student who is not even touched those words. Now you have to make the language very simple. We may be masters of any language, but can we get down to the language understanding of our student? How much our students level of understanding? And how many of you know today's newspaper readability index? From participants, I'll be asking question. There could be Deccan Herald or that could be some other English newspapers. Do you know the readability index of this one, for which classroom or which class level it is set for? Any idea? You can answer. Today's English newspapers, especially Deccan Herald, Hindu or Indian Express. Anybody has an idea?
Something around 5 to 10, 15%.
No, readability index for which age group or which grade it is meant for?
Sir, actually, the Hindu is quite difficult to understand. It is in still it is in the British English context, and Deccan Herald is some readable, ability. It can be readable.
Okay, so to make it simple,
Yes, sir.
the readability index that is their standard. What they maintained is for 6th to 8th standard. Can you believe it? It is 6th to 8th standard, but still we find it difficult to even at this age try to understand some of the wordings. Imagine if newspapers are like that, and try to understand how our students would be. And in Karnataka, and how many of you know 70% of the population is coming from rural areas, and they really find it difficult with the English language. So can we go down in our language style, though breaking those jargons and making it very simple for our children so that they can understand your class better? You may have very high vocabulary, but how much it will be useful for our students? Yes, for your what you call debates and all, yes, definitely you can use that. But I think classroom, I think we have to use very simple language, any language for that matter. And next aspect is teaching with the breaks. This is very important. As a psychologist, I am telling this. In a class, if you are continuously teaching for students, you keep it in your what you call this on record, that you can hold the attention of the students not more than 21 minutes. You may be a pandit, or you may be a what you call a great visionary and a great orator, but if you don't give a break, your teaching will reach only maximum of 21 minutes, because after 21 minutes the saturation already set in, and after 22nd minute it will not go inside the head, it will go above the head. So the remaining 40 minutes may be waste. So what you have to do is you have to teach with the breaks. The idea is you don't have to what you call continuously give a oration. So you can give breaks. You can divide the class into 2 or at least 3 sessions within the class. Maybe say 15 to 18 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes. Give some break so that it is kind of refreshing for the students. And the interest can go in the first minute itself. I know few of the students, the first minute only you are teaching, they are somewhere, they are physically present, but psychologically they are absent in the class. So that also can happen. So in such cases, you have to hold their attention. So this can be done by only with the teaching with the breaks. So that means what you have to what you call give break, divide your 1 hour session. You have to divide your 1 hour session into at least 3 blocks. And in these 3 blocks, in between, you may have to give 2 to 3 minutes of break, and you don't have to keep quiet in that. we call it as a distraction period. So in this period, actually, we expect the student to consolidate the memory traces which he has learned. What happens otherwise, when you teach continuously, it will not be settled down. So it is like a what you call flow. So whenever you give a break, so there will be settling down of the memory traces. It's a hypothetical construct, and this will help us to the student to memorize better, because you are given a break, and during this break the student has what you call gone out of what you call little out of the subject. And this is so, though it's called as a distraction period, but during this distraction period there will be consolidation of memory traces. Technically they are called as engrams. Now you might ask what to do during this what you call break time, like 2 to 3 minutes or 2 to 5 minutes. You can have a what you call lighter moments with the students. You can connect it to some latest happenings. So only thing is, make the what you call students mind little refreshing. It is like computer. So why we many times we press F5 or refresh? Because when continuously working, computer also gets some kind of laziness and it will not work. So that's why we put press F5 button, or we keep on pressing refresh, so that we are making fresh. So the same analogy here, we are making students' mind fresh, so that your student can understand better, because continuously teaching will gets into boredom and students find it difficult to manage it. So please teach, break your classroom sessions, 1 hour session to at least 3, and you can manage better. Next important thing is, while delivering the talk, make the session live. You might ask, what do you mean by making the session live? So try to understand, you have to make the classroom interesting. So whenever you talk about making the session live, you are already article, you say I'm already live inside the class. That is not the meaning here. Here, talking what you call live in the sense, you are making it more interesting, so that the students will be expecting what next from the teacher. The students are not expecting when the teacher will go out. You must have experienced many times, your students are telling, sir, madam, please continue, though its classroom hour is over. Do you know why? Any idea? Many times your teachers, students must have said, sir, please continue, we don't want to miss. They're more interesting. Why? You have made your class more interesting. So much so that they don't want to listen to other teacher. And whenever the semester wise change or year wise change is there, then you may not give what deliver a lecture for the same students which are not give, which you have taken the class earlier. Now they might come and request, sir, nive banni sir, or bada sir, nive pata madi sir. Why they say this? Try to understand this. Why they expect more classes from you? Because you are making the sessions very live. You are making the classes more interesting. This can be done by you. You have a capacity to do that. That's why I said there's no class are boring. A teacher may be boring, but subject is not boring. You can make a subject boring, but subject itself is not boring. Try to understand. Then next part is use of audio visual aids. Now, how many of you are really what you call use audio visual aids, or you are just bothered about the finishing of syllabus? Now, can anyone there explain the importance of audiovisual aids inside the class? Now you are a student, you were a student, now you are teaching the students. Now, can you make a difference with the audio video visual aids and without audio visual aids? What is the classroom impact? Can anyone quickly deliver on that?
Sir,
With
actually,
audio visual aids, it will become more effective.
Yes, madam, please continue.
Sir, it brings in variety into the classroom.
Very good. Okay.
Learners' attention will be captured very well.
Okay.
And it can be concepts can be concretized easily.
Okay. See, idea is very simple. When you use audio visual modes of teaching, it diverts the attention of the student. So we talk about 2 to 3 types of memory. One is audio memory, another one is picture memory or visual memory, another one is a motion memory. So technically it is scientifically proved that your audio visual memory is very weaker. Whereas if you show a picture, that impression is much stronger than audio visual. But if you see a video or if it's a motion, that will be still more permanently kept in the brains. That is why you have not forgotten some of the movie clips which you have seen in your childhood days. Not because of the audio, it is because of the video. Because still, don't you think still you remember few of the what you call movies clips? Why? Because it's not because of audio, it is because of the video. So that is why audio visual aids have got their own impact, but that doesn't mean that your words don't carry meaning. To explain those audio visual aids, your words are important. How you explain those audio and videos, that themselves, though they're self-explanatory, but what comments you give on that, that doesn't mean that you have to use audio visual aids full hour. For example, when you talk about LCD presentation, because UGC has very strictly said use ICT technology inside the class. But unfortunately, what we have conceptualized ICT means it is only PowerPoint presentation. ICT is something more than PowerPoint presentation. So since what you call PowerPoint presentation is part of it, PowerPoint presentation itself should not be by a class. It should not be a class by itself. It is just handy in nature. It is like, if I remember my teachers, those days when there was no facility of LCDs and all, they used to bring small chits in their hands. And once in a while, they used to just refer those slips. And how many of you remember that? This is why, because they should not forget any points. The same thing is now switched over to LCDs. That's the idea. That means your teaching and oration has not lost the importance. It has nothing can beat your teaching oration. That is why whenever, especially in teaching and about government setup, in private sectors, while selection, they'll ask you to lecture for 10 to 20 minutes without PowerPoint. And how many of you experienced that? Why? Because without PowerPoint presentation, can you manage the class? So that is also more important. So along with that, if you use audiovisual aids, definitely it has got a better impression on the student. And in a way, it reduces your what you call efforts, because you can save some time so that you can relax. What happens when you show some audio or video, you get some free time so that you can breathe and recoup yourself for energy. Because I've seen sometimes some teachers are really involved so much that they are totally energyless at the end of the class. They're the real teachers. So if you use this audiovisual aids, definitely what you call, you can manage the class better and you get some relaxation, and the impression from the student is much positive towards you, because you are a good teacher, because you give the examples and audiovisual which made their understanding easier. So delivery makes a very important issue in the class. Then how good you are in problem solving, that's also more important. So since already we have almost crossed 45 minutes, you're continuously listening. I've already highlighted a problem for you. Forget about the outside square. So there are 9 dots. With your intelligence, quickly connect all the dots, but the conditions prevail. 2 conditions: do not lift once you start, and use only 4 straight lines to connect them. You have to use only 4 straight lines, and you cannot go back in the same line. How good you are a problem solver, we'll see. I've shown the picture. There are 9 dots. Connect them with the 4 straight lines without lifting. One condition. Second condition is you cannot overrun the same line. I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes. Start working. 4 straight lines, and you can show on the screen whether you have worked it out. And the answer is yes, you can do it. Madam, I'm not able to see the answer there. The screen is quite small. I'm seeing some scripts. Madam, I see 5 lines. Maybe more. Check, check. Anybody has worked out with the 4 straight lines? I'll give 1 more minute time. That is the wrong answer. Middle dot is missing.
Okay, sir.
Sir, can you see this?
Sir, there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lines, sir. 5 straight lines. Okay. I think you are having little problem because we think the problem from inside. Can you see the problem from outside? Don't think in a traditional way. You will not be able to answer this. But if you go beyond the boundaries, but still the condition remains same, all the 9 dots have to be connected with the 4 straight lines.
Can you see this?
Madam, I'm not able to see. Can it just be highlighted a bit more? Or can you draw on the screen itself and show me back? Somebody is doing that, that's why.
So we can draw Z shape for the points, and for the middle one straight line.
Madam, I need 4 straight lines without lifting. That is what is expected.
Okay.
Okay, I think we are running short of time. Sir, two of them are left, sir, here. This one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, can you draw
Sir.
on the screen so that I can see on the screen?
Sir, here.
I'm not able to see, sir, because screen this one is very small. Can you at least draw in front of me so that no, draw, show like that only, draw. No, sir, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, sir. Sir, okay, sir, we are running short of time. As I said, don't think in a traditional way. If you think in a traditional way, you will never get an answer. I said,
Sir.
go beyond the boundaries.
Sir, please look here, sir. I have drawn.
Yes, madam, you are right. Okay, I'll now show the answer. So, are you seeing the answer now? And who is the person showed me the answer first? Tanuja, madam. No?
Yes, sir.
Okay, madam. Good, madam. Okay. Now the idea here is, though it could be looked little complex, but actually it is very simple. If you have seen here 9 dots, you start with 1 dot. See the movement of my cursor. 1, 2, 3, and 4th line. So you can do it. So, but if you thought within this, within this framework only, you will never get an answer. So idea here is, many times, even while looking into the problems, see to that as a teacher, some problems looks very complex. They are not complex, they are simple. Only thing is, don't be inside the problem, come outside the problem and look into that. Definitely there will be answer. Okay, so if you are gone with this, the next challenge is same. Now you know with the with the 9 dots and with the 4 lines. The next challenge is only with the 3 lines. Still you can do it. Next challenge is with the 3 lines. provided you can increase the dot to circle. I'll give one option. Instead of what you call using a dot, you can use a circle so that it will be much easier.
So without lifting, we can draw like this.
Huh? Yes, that's the condition, madam. So instead of what you call dot, I'll give an option for circle. Okay, we'll go to the answer because already we are running short of anybody's. Tanja madam, are you with the answer? Somebody's mic is on, please.
I'm trying, sir.
Somebody's mic is on, please. Somebody's mic is on. Divakar sir, I think your mic is on. Just check.
Yes, sir. Let me check. Oh,
Okay. Thank you. Okay, let me go to the answer because we have to cover so many other things. See, earlier you are finding difficult with the single answer. Sorry, with the 4 lines. Now we are reached so much so that we can manage even with the 3 lines. But idea here is I'll tell you what exactly been done. Why I wanted to increase the dot into circle, because to connect. See here, once you start from the top right end, drag it, and this has to be connected on the top. Then it comes to the center, and then it comes down. Extend the line, again go back, top, middle, and down. Again extend the line, top, middle, down.
Okay.
So this is how you can manage the answer. So that means whatever finds us difficult as this one, it is not the same. You can still manage with the things. But only thing is, how do we think? It could be classroom situation or outside the classroom situation. My simple tip for you is, don't be inside the problem. The moment you are there inside the problem, you find it difficult to answer. The moment you see come out of the problem, see how others are going to view the problem, the answer is ready. Now remember, all the time you are bothered about thinking inside of the only 9 dots. The moment you started extending the boundaries, the answer came very fast. So that's the idea. So you should be a good problem solver, because nowadays there is a lot of increase in the problems of the students. I don't know how many of you really have what you call insight on that. In my college, I find when I started teaching, and as of today, maybe after 20-25 years, I find there's a lot of changes in the problems of the students. Lot of pains and aches have been reported nowadays, which was not there when I was student or immediately when I took over as a teacher. Now there are a lot of complaints from the students, lot of interpersonal relations, lot of interpersonal issues, lot things. So I think as a teacher, you have to manage that also. So that's where the problem solving will be handy for you, along with your teaching issues. Then we'll continue the delivery, whom we have to focus. So there are 3 types of learners we find inside a class. One are the fast learners, second one is the moderate learners, third one is the slow learners. Now look into each of the aspects. Who are the fast learners? One stretch and one glance for enough for them, and they'll be mastering that. So they don't require your help, to be frank. They don't require your help at all. They come for attendance because they're very serious students and they're very fast learners. They're very independent of themselves, but they're the gene is very strong for intellectuality. So automatically the learning is very fast. Then the second group is moderate learners, where they require your guidance. They understand, but they require your guidance for better understanding. So they are called as moderate learners. Then there is another group called as slow learners. They are not only require your guidance, they are dependent on them. This is more important. The slow learners. So to make your classroom effective, the first thing is you have to identify these three groups. Why? Because if the classroom strength is more, it's very difficult to manage all of them. But if you identify slow learners and moderate learners, then you can really focus on them. And nowadays, under NEP scheme, if you find mentorship, that a teacher has to take so many students under his mentorship. Now, why not you people can plan student-student mentorship, where a fast learner can be connected with the slow learner, a moderate learner can be connected with the slow learner, because ultimately, whom you have to concentrate inside a class? Any idea? Because we have got what you call three types of learners: fast learners, moderate learners, and slow learners. Whom we have to focus more?
Slow learner, sir.
It has to be slow learners, because as I said, fast learners definitely they learn by themselves, moderate learners but with your guidance, but slow learners will be having real difficult level. For example, I'll tell you, if a student, you praise them, whom you praise them? For example, if I praise a student who scores 90 and I scold a student who scores 30, that's not very fair. Because for a student who is having a score of 95, for him scoring is 99 is very easy. But for a student who is scoring 30, even to make it 31 or 32 will be very difficult. And whether you have personal experience this, have you experienced this? For a student on the lower side, even to get 1 mark extra, he finds it so difficult. But for a student with the 90, you can score something more. Even 95, 96, he can score. So for a student with the 30, at least if you what you call make him to understand and make him to write for 40 or 50, I think you are a great teacher. Producing ranks, I don't consider, don't feel bad, is a that is not a big deal. You can have 10 ranks in your class. I don't think it's a big what you call achievement. But if there are students who are slow learners, if you have brought them to average level, I think you have done your job best. So please look into these slow learners. Please focus on more. Along with your mentorship, can you connect them with the fast learners or others, so that they will be connected with the subject? And remember, these slow learners only come in search of you later after 10 years or 15 years. My personal experience, the rank holders you cannot catch. They'll be somewhere in big other countries or somewhere else. But the students, they remember you. Sir, that day you taught me like this. I was about to fail. Because of your teaching, I passed. I think that's a credit for you. Think of that way. So you can do wonders as a teacher. So look into the delivery part where you are going to manage with them. Then within delivery and this one, how you have to communicate and manage. That's also more important. These are the 4 important issues as I consider from my personal experience. See the first one, use of space. I have seen few of the teachers standing for 1 hour at one place and teaching without using what you call blackboard or whiteboard, or without using any what you call any of the audiovisual materials. Take it for granted your classes are waste. If you are standing at a single place and teaching for next 1 hour, that is completely waste unless you move yourself. That's the use of space. How much you move around, and this movement should be very subtle one, should not distract the students listening. When you talk about the movement, it should be slowly left to right or right to left or front to back or back to front. Why I'm telling use of space and movements? Why? Because the moment you start moving, each student will be alert. The moment you start go at the end, even the last, what you call, bench student, last student also will be more alert because they are under watch. But if you stand at one place and teach, it can be boring for the students, and you are not giving, what you call, eyeball movement for the student. I think someone's audio is on. Please turn off the microphone. Someone's audio is on. Okay, so use of space as well as movements makes your class great, because the moment you start moving subtle, not very fast, then everybody is alert because they will be under the knowledge that they are under scanner. So alert. The more they alert, what you call, then they are listening to you. Since alertness and listening, it goes one to one, understanding will be easier. Then many times I cannot do these gestures. Now we are online, offline, I would have showed. There are unnecessary gestures and postures the teachers use inside the class, which might distract the student. So to avoid this, you might ask, what are the examples? I have seen few of the teachers pulling the pen from the pocket, removing the cap, though it's not required. After some time, putting it back and again putting the pen back into their pockets. Or from right side pant, taking the keys out or car key, rotate it inside the your hands or between hands, take it to the other hand, put it in the other pocket. After some time, again take it into this and make a reverse this one. Now you are indirectly dragging the attention of the student to other things rather than the class. Was that posture or gesture was required? Really not required. I'll tell you what to do. Then sometimes some teachers removing the buttons, if the full shirt button, removing the buttons while talking, convey by removing a button or putting the button, it doesn't convey anything, but by in that you have diverted the students' attention. Sometimes pulling the, what you call, collar, pulling the collar, some teachers have got the habit, and some some ladies don't feel bad, more worried about how they look like even inside the class. That is also not good, because you should not look into yourself when you look at others. So what's going to happen? You are more bothered about your own appearance. Now this should be managed at home or before you get inside the class. How do you look like? Everything you plan in front of the mirror in your staff room or in your personal room, make it yourself looking pretty. I will explain what is that looking pretty or something, not beauty. That's a very different thing. Beauty is different, prettiness is very different. Okay, we'll talk about that. So avoid all those unnecessary gestures and postures which drags the attention of the student somewhere else. Now that's the one part. The student will be thinking how many times you have taken the pen out and taken the pen inside. How many times you have taken the keys outside and you put the keys inside. How many times you have pulled their collar. He's more bothered about that. And another important, you see the fourth point, try to avoid unnecessary verbatim like okay. Many times I've seen teachers talking for every sentence of just okay, okay. Now how many times you talk okay? Then ultimately a voice comes, it's okay sir, continue class. Or many times like, yes sir, we know, but we don't like this. Then isn't it? How many times you say isn't it? Don't you think it's irritating for the student, as if you are repeatedly questioning them? Then I mean. Now what is the meaning of I mean? What's the meaning of I mean? What you tell is already meant. Why you want to say again you mean? So be careful about those wordings when you use inside the class. There are several ones. I've just given a few examples. Now, for every time if you manage like this, after some time, from backside a number comes 75. Then after some there will be 76. And ultimately you get a number 107. The idea is that the student was more curious to say how many times you have said okay, okay. Rather than your class, he has managed the frequencies and tallies and coming to a great success that today our teacher has spoken 107 times okay. Now, how bad it is for a student. Happening. Then what to do next? This is why can you practice in front of the mirror? Those are freshers again, since it's a orientation program. Can you practice in front of the mirror? So while talking to yourself to the mirror, now you understand this is the posture I'm using inside the class. This is how managing the class, how students have felt so bad about me. Now, this is where managing the class, planning the class much before getting inside the class, practicing in front of the mirror, initial stages, not later. So the moment you practice inside, in front of a mirror, I think you get to know your own body language. Another trick is very important. You do a micro teaching, right? That's what I think your sir was talking about, sending 2-3 minutes video. I think that's what about micro teaching. I don't know. That is a micro teaching, madam, Dr. Suvarna.
Yes, sir.
Micro
Okay.
teaching, sir.
Huh?
They have asked us to record the classroom presentation, not the micro teaching.
Okay, madam, this is what exactly I'm telling. But when somebody records, you are very, what you call, alert, and we are very cautious, so that you will be knowing that you are being recorded. Now, can you people record your own class without your knowledge, asking one of the students? Say 5 to 10 minutes, not more than that. Then don't show that video clip to anyone. Bring that video home. Cast on your TV, big TV. Then watch your talk by yourself. Now watch your own lecture on the screen. Sometimes you wonder, this is that I'm talking to my students. Now you understand which sentence has made a sense and which sentence has not made a sense. Now think of this. If you are not able to understand your own sentence, how can you expect that your student understand your sentence? So this is where the correction begins. And at the same time, since you have got a video, check your what you call gestures and postures, whether they were relevant or whether they were irrelevant. Sometimes what you call the body language and your what you call talk should go together. Your body language should not go against your talk. The flow of the talk and your body language. Sometimes there is a mismatch between the body language and the talk. Now what happens? The student get confused. He may not tell you, but definitely he has a confusion regarding your talk. So can you practice this? Can you take a risk of this? What you call talking in front of the mirror, giving class to the mirror first, then to the class, recording unknowingly by yourself by one of your pet student and later watching. Now you get to know real what you call quality of your teaching. The more you do that, I think the more correction comes. The more correction comes, I think automatically your teaching quality improves. Once the teaching quality improves, automatically you will be called as a great teacher or good teacher. Then we are talking about what you call focus. Though I said first, yes, your focus should be more on what you call slow learners. Even the fast learners also required for us. I'll tell you why. Can someone, I think somebody's audio is on. Sayas sir, can you, Sayas sir, I think your audio is on. Sayas sir, your audio is on.
No, it's not mine, sir. My surrounding is clear.
Sayas Saab Mujawar. Some sound is coming from your screen. Okay. So when we talk about the focus, please try to understand two things: your academic support and education, how it has to help students to succeed academically. Though yes, extracurricular activities also required, but the major focus as a teacher inside the class is education to help students to succeed academically. First thing, automatically that can get into job later. That's a different thing. But succeed academically, that is more important. Then at-risk student identification. Many times we are misled. Don't feel bad. A student is not interested in the class. Without even knowing what has happened, we just scold outrightly them. Have we really got into the student's real problems? He may have his family issues behind. He may have a great loss in the family, or he may be finding it difficult to manage the class and the home. So, and that is one part where problems. There are at risk, like the addict students. Nowadays, we have got a big problem with the mobiles and mobile addiction. Can you identify those students and tell them, see, because all of you there, because I do a lot of work on social media addiction and all, there are a lot of literature saying that the more the person is addicted to mobiles, his short-term memory and long-term memory are going to be affected. So because of this, their grades are becoming reduced. The interest which you have seen earlier in the student is no more existing, my personal experience. So we have to bring them back. We have to make them what you call, even inside the class, they are more alert about how many messages, how many Facebook comments, how many Instagram updates. They are more bothered about though they are listening to your class. Now we have to identify those students who are literally getting into addiction, try to correct them and plan some good intervention. They might find bad now. If you say you should not watch mobile, you should not see mobile, they might think very bad about you. But in the long run, definitely they'll remember you as a good teacher, because a good teacher's job is not only just teaching, a good teacher's job is all-round development of a student. It is not just you, it is not just enough that if you go to class, finish your syllabus and come back. No, you have got more responsibility. That even all round of development is lying with you. That is why even in Puranas and our mythology and ancestors said Acharya Deva Bhava or Guru Deva Bhava. Why? Because next to parents, you are the parent. You are the God. Are we doing that duty? Think of this. Acharya Deva Bhava. Why we say that? Guru Deva Bhava. Of course, I don't believe in what you call wishing you on what you call Teachers Day. I think a good student will wish every day, either psychologically or something. Need not wish officially, but a good student will always official has got good wishes for his teacher. That's a very different thing. So we have got a moral responsibility to manage that. So this is where you have to focus more. And I think we are almost finishing our first session. Later, we are going to talk about at-risk students who are more into smartphone, who are using various social apps, who has lost interest in studies. So how to bring them back? What exactly happens? We'll get them back. So we'll join back again. What time? If I will join back, and we have left with 1 minute. We'll continue 1 minute, because now Nanjan Swami sir is very strict. 3:15 means 3:15. So I think it's 3:15 now. We'll join back at exactly at 3:45. And you can keep your questions in the last 15 minutes so that we can discuss over there. Right?
Okay, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.